This week's episode is brought to you by my cat, Sophie. Sophie is currently giving me the evil eye as I record this intro. Do you want me to re-record it, or please don't look at me like that. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night. One of the hosts of this show spent 10% of their rent on SVR Bastards, and it totally was me. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer. Please pay your rent, Atlas.
I do pay my rent. I'm just saying that SVR Bastards are pretty, and I had to get them. And they're on our Instagram, Nexus at Night Instagram, if you guys want to go check that out.
I don't even have that app. I've never even used it. Never even looked at anyone's Instagram.
Completely understandable. I hate Instagram too, but we're a quote-unquote pillar of the community, as someone told me once. So.
Yeah, right.
Oh, boy.
I mean, we could be. Who knows? I'm glad that people feel that way, but it's really hard for me to feel that way, I guess.
I mean, we do have listeners. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
What?
We care a lot about your listens.
Yeah, we do, and we care about.
I just feel like this game and I have a weird relationship, which is why I think it's like a little awkward that I be associated with that, I guess.
I'm guessing like a fraught relationship where you have had different periods of your life where you...
where I think this game kind of sucks.
Yeah, and yet you're still here, so...
I know, right? It's amazing. It's like torture.
It means he loves us, I think.
Or something. Yeah.
I love you too, Matt. Anyway, so today we're talking about grade 4's, and no, we're not talking about strides, because Bushiroad has decided to put grade 4's back in the main deck of Vanguard.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun.
You can sit on them and stuff.
Yeah. So when we say back in the main deck, we're of course referring to the fact that Bushiroad experimented with this in the past with a card called Transcendus Dragon Dragonic Novel Vogue, which this isn't the one that we're about to talk about. This is like one from like 2013 or something like that, or
right.
2012.
I guess.
So the original one back in the day was a grade 4 with 13k triple drive, and then Limit Break.
Well, it had twin drive, bro.
Yeah, it was still twin drive.
Twin drive. My brain farted. Sorry. So, Limit Break 4, Counterblast 3, Soul Blast 3, discard a copy of him, retire all of your opponent's rear guards. There's also, during your turn, all of your opponent's trigger effects are nullified, and during the battle that this unit attacks a Vanguard, your opponent cannot call grade 0 units from hand to guard circle, and then if it's on a rear guard circle, it gets minus 1k, and then the Lord ability. Look, the point is that you get a free Tom still, and you nullify your opponent's triggers on damage check, which is pretty wacky. And this was also combined with a certain grade 1. Matt, I can't remember the name of it. I think you have...
The Novell grade 1? That discarded Novell to search for grade 3?
Exactly. So what was this used for?
So, basically, in order to fix the ride, you needed to get this grade 1, and then call it, reveal discard a Novell, and then search for a grade 3, so that you have like your grade 3 ride before going to Novell. On the play, you could get Cruel Dragon and basically ride up a grade over your opponent, or on the draw rather, and like hit grade 4 like at a reasonable time.
Yeah,
but
you could also use it to grab Dote and just shit on people without having to worry about Limit Break.
Mm-hmm. But the real linchpin was that you needed Conroe to find this grade 1. Once Conroe got hit, finding this grade 1 was less consistent. And so the deck as a whole became a lot less consistent. It topped a lot less after that.
Makes sense. So now Bushiroad has kind of brought that into the modern era with a card of the same name.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the full name again.
Kind of to be expected. The V series has kind of been following the progression of the manga, and I think Exculpate and Novell were manga cards.
I'm okay with that. I'm just saying that like this is a very long name that takes up a lot of space on our card.
Alright, so what does it do, though?
Alright, so it is an act, Vanguard, once per turn. Soul Blast a grade 3 or greater until the end of your turn. All of your opponent's trigger effects are nullified. It gets 20,000 power and drive -1. If you or your opponent has 5 cards in the damage zone, retire all of your opponent's rear guards.
Also 15k grade 4 twin drive force gift. But
does it get a crit or anything? Did you miss something?
No. So this is
no
this
crit,
is a lot
no
worse.
guard restrict. Yeah. See, this card would be fine if it were like a grade 3, and maybe didn't have to. If it was like Counterblast 2 or something, it did the exact same thing. Like, I could maybe see you playing it as like a tempo card, but this is a grade 4. You're supposed to be using this as like an endgame card.
So let's talk about what it means to play grade 4s in your deck. because this is like something that I think a lot of people don't think about. Because you're just thinking like, oh, I'm going to ride to grade 3, I'm going to ride to grade 4, everything's going to be just peachy keen. But grade 4s do take up deck space. And the space they really occupy is the grade 3 space.
Mm-hmm.
So you're cutting grade 3s to play these grade 4s in general. What that means is you're less likely to consistently ride to grade 3.
Yeah, because you can't go from 2 to 4 often.
Yeah.
Right. So I think most people are thinking like, you're going to play like 3 grade 4s, 6 grade 3s, somewhere in that nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's so important in V era to make sure you hit grade 3 ride.
Yeah.
Because of gifts.
Yeah.
That and power bases, etc. That like you just can't afford to miss grade 3 base. So I'm assuming. So my assumption here, and people can challenge me on this or not, that if you miss grade 3 ride, you are very unlikely to win the game.
Yeah. Especially in Kagero, where you don't really have an amazing Vanguard to be on. Like, Berserk Dragon is okay, but I don't think you could sustain being on him for a game.
So running the numbers, I came up with about between a 70 and 75% chance that you hit grade 3 on time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that counting Vague or not counting Vague?
That's counting Vague with discard.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's counting drawing Vague and the grade 1.
Okay.
No, this is now.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because
they retrained
cards that
Novarella, man.
I forgot about that, sorry.
So that's playing 6 grade 3s and 3 grade 4s. But we're still looking at a 70 to 75% chance, which means 25 to 30% of the time you just don't get to play. Which is, I think, a little sketchy for me, because this deck doesn't even just win the game if you do it. Like, the game becomes normal if you ride this.
Yeah, because it doesn't it does nullify triggers, but you lose a drive check, which means that's less chance of you critting the opponent to death. And against protect clans, this is just...
It's a grade 4 whose best qualities are defensive.
Yeah, because this wants the opponent to be at 5 damage, so you can wipe their board, but wiping the board when they're at 5 damage doesn't really help you offensively. Except for maybe intercepts.
Well, that's the thing, is if they are already at 5 damage, this is just kind of win more, right?
Yeah. And then another thing is that because it's a grade 4, you can't ride back down to grade 3, and their win condition is Dragonic Waterfall. There is no two ways about it. So,
other huge problem with this card is that since Protect clans are so strong, specifically OTT, this card is just going to get stonewalled. I think you're better off just playing Waterfall. So I think Novell is pretty medium card. I don't think it's bad. But I think that this card is not worth the risk that you have to take by putting grade 4s in your deck.
My take on it is, like, nothing it does is explicitly bad. It's bad because it's on a grade 4. If this were a grade 3 where you could do all of the same things, I think it would be fine as a tempo card to, like, survive a turn and go into Waterfall afterwards. This is like setting up for a finisher, but the finisher is riding Novell again, where your only pressure is plus 20k.
Yeah, I think the number I came up with is your 73.4%-ish to ride grade 3 on time, which seems high. But when you go into the fact that 6-point-something% of the time you're just not going to get to play the game, I don't know. Like, that feels too bad for me. Like, that means, like, if you're in a, 8-round tournament, that means you're losing 2 of your rounds to just variance.
Yeah.
So you're already X2 on average. So you have to run hot or, like, and that assumes you win every game where you ride to grade 3 on time, which is unlikely.
We're also keeping in mind that, like, there are a lot of decks with powerful Vanguards because it's typically a powerful finisher on its own. And then you're more or less going -1 because you're losing that drive check. So even if you wipe the board, because Kagero doesn't have a very strong advantage in the first place, and then you're also losing that drive check, which less chances to hit a draw trigger and less cards overall, I think wiping the board just doesn't do enough to help you survive. You're just relying really heavily on that 15k base.
Yep. But I think the card is pretty interesting. I'm glad that in this calculation I didn't count draw triggers. I didn't count hitting with the grade 2 because I wasn't really counting riding up to Novell. I was just counting just riding up to grade 3 because I thought that was more important.
It is more important.
But I didn't count things like draw triggers. So there could be a little, and I also didn't count things like grade 3 going to damage. So I'm kind of counting that as a wash. But I could, like, if one could do like very, very specific calculations involving that, but it's much harder. Because there are a lot of, like, narrow cases, and I just didn't feel like dealing with it.
I think the conclusion here is, like, medium minus.
Yeah, I like medium
minus for me. Like,
I'm giving like a C plus, somewhere in that.
Yeah, same. Like, if this were a grade 3, it would be fine, but it's a grade 4, so what can you do?
The grade 1 is like A in the Novell deck, F everywhere else. Grade 2 is like C plus in the Novell deck, F everywhere else. It's just not interesting.
So with that grade 1, if it didn't make you search for Draconic Overlord outright, would you play it more? So you use Novell as like kind of a...
I mean, you still put Novell in your deck, so no.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But
since we don't have a Conroe to like search it out, I just don't think it's worth it.
That's true.
I'm saying that the grade 1 returns a Novell to deck rather than discards it like the old one.
You like it or you don't like it?
Well, it's interesting. I don't know. I don't. It doesn't make a difference to me.
I'm guessing it seems like a lot of the stuff they're focusing more on returning to deck instead of outright discarding, unless your name is Brand Blue, because I think that like deck out is a slight more bit of a worry this time, a little bit. Maybe not so much, but yeah. So the other grade 4 that we saw was Exculpate the Blaster. It's a grade 4 with 14k for whatever reason, not 15k.
They had that same dichotomy with Novell and Exculpate the first time. Exculpate was a 12k while Novell was 13.
Yeah, but tradition be damned.
Was it Exculpate grade 4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that.
Both of them were grade 4. It was just that the power was slightly different.
Exculpate was a promo that saw a vague play, but whatever.
Yeah, for some reason they decided to keep that 1k discrepancy between the two of them.
I mean, it doesn't make that much of a difference. You're still hitting numbers on forced lands, so what do you care?
It's not like Exculpate stays anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, and he's correct, because the skill is when placed on Vanguard, you counterblast 1, choose a card from your soul, and put all of the other cards from your soul into your drop zone. When this unit attacks during this turn, it battles all of your opponent's units in one attack. And then the other skill is at the end of the battle that it attacked, put 2 cards from your hand into your soul, retire this unit, and ride a Blaster Blade from your soul as stand. If you could not ride, you lose.
Well, yeah, that's kind of a given.
I know, but just the part where they have to stipulate, if you couldn't ride, you lose. Sucks for you, buddy.
This card, okay, if this card were grade 3, I think it's busted. But it's not.
Okay. I actually have some things to respond to that with, but continue.
So it has the same problem as Novell. It has the same issue with Novell as far as consistency goes. And your deck needs to contain some out of grade 3, some out of this card. And so you're still playing the same ratios at a 73 point whatever % chance of being able to play the game. Like, you can't sit on Blaster Blade like Aichi does, so it's not reasonable.
I mean, I think Blaster Blade is the precise thing that makes this decent-ish. So, the thing
I agree. But I'm just saying, like, if you miss ride, you're still bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, Exculpate got things like the Novell Critic and Novell Roman, right? Where you can help kind of trade in Exculpate for other things. Like,
it also has to get Alfred early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing that makes it really bad.
Really, I guess they just get the TD card, but, like, Alfred King of Knights was Aichi's, like, headliner in the manga, right?
And the anime.
Or was it Alfred early?
Oh,
because the Draconic...
I'm pretty sure. Like, they treated King of Knights like a big deal when he first used it, although I don't think he's used it all that much since.
Interesting.
We've seen him use it in the V anime once so far. Otherwise, it's just been Alfred early.
It just feels weird that you have to play specifically Alfred early for this grade 1 to work. And if you don't play this grade 1, the consistency of this deck goes down so much.
Yeah, well, there's that, and then also, Alfred Early pulls a Blaster Blade out of your soul, which is not where you want it.
Well, it could be in your hand.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the true, like, what people aim for is to go for the, like, pull from soul thing, because you get just a straight plus to your hand. So it's a conflicting winning image there.
Yeah.
I have a question. Let's say you have, like, 30 cards in deck.
What?
And let's say you've not seen a single Blaster Blade. Yeah. You have 30 cards in deck. Do you attack with? Do you ride Exculpate and attack?
What? Go for the Twin Drive and hope you get it then?
Yeah.
Oh wait, because it's end of battle.
Yeah, you put the cards in first, then ride Blaster Blade, so you can put it from your hand.
That's nice that you can do that at least.
Right.
So what I don't understand is the thing where you pick any card, put everything else into drop, and then you put 2 more cards in anyway. Why is that even a thing? Like,
I don't. Because the old Exculpate did it.
Sure. I mean, I think what gives this potential is, one, the way the metagame is right now, attacking all of the opponent's units for essentially free is quite good. This is not like G-Era where people can just shit boards out of their ass, unless your name's Grand Blue. But And even then, it costs resources. So, like, the attacking the whole field thing is quite strong, especially if it's an Excel deck. You don't even, like, there's little to no effort there. All right, everybody.
Yeah. It's not like Novell where there's a condition attached to it.
Yeah, it's just attack everybody. The second thing is that rewriting Blaster Blade now is way better than rewriting Blaster Blade from before. Because, first off, this gives you a force gift when you write it. You had to write a grade 3 before this, so you have at least 2 force gifts, which means that you can plan for this and have the Blaster Blade that you restand be attacking for 20 to 30k.
Sure.
That, combined with the fact that Blaster Blade still gives it a crit when you have 4 or more rear guards, which I hope that you do, then that means you can put pressure on the opponent with the restanding thing, and then also it's another drive check, so it's more pressure for Protect lands.
I mean, I get that, right? I'm not saying the card is bad, but people tend to imagine these cards in like the situation where everything is going right. Like,
yeah,
whoever looks at a card tries to fabricate some situation where it's like the perfect place to use this card. And that's why people always come up with like defenses for cards like, oh, this card's just situational, because they can fabricate this like wild situation where this card is good.
I mean, I was just trying to say all the possible things that can make it good.
I mean, yes, I know.
Options are good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, don't Black Grimoire us here. Anyway.
What?
Black Grimoire famously defended Eradicator support in G era as options for Narukami.
Oh,
so I'm making fun of you.
Okay, all right, so it's over now. Black Grimoire is someone who makes a sweeping statement that doesn't really make sense, or what's the...
Black Grimoire was a mod on the subreddit. Anyway.
No, I get that part, but I mean...
And he made, like, weird statements about Eradicator support that weren't really defensible.
No, I'm saying, like, as
it doesn't matter. The point is...
okay.
The point is, like, I think, like, the downside of this card is very real.
Yeah.
And I think...
And I'll let you finish first.
Like... And I think Alfred Early is like much worse than Draconic Overlord to play. So you're also playing a deck with Alfred Early in it?
Yeah. I know a lot of the decks where they do just like Soul Saver Alfred, they run like 1 to 2 copies of Alfred Early just for whatever stupid reason.
Right.
I know our very own Richard from Nexus Core put up a video about an aggro Royal Paladin deck where you ran a lot of copies of Alfred Early just so you can like try and just go ham as fast as you can.
Sure.
So there might be something to this. I do think so. With the skill, when you want to ride back to grade 3 next turn, you're going to have 3 soul, which is just too short of doing the Soul Saver thing again, which sucks. But you know, it's I think it would have been cool if it didn't Soul Blast out every card. Would have been nice.
So if I can make another comment about why I think that the Exculpate chain of cards is worse than the Novell chain, and I'm not saying Exculpate. I think Exculpate itself is a better card than Novell.
It's but just Benon support right now.
Benon is a grade 2, which means you're eating grade 2 space to fix your Exculpate ride, or with Kagro, you're just eating grade 1 space.
Yeah.
Which is a huge deal. Grade 2s are super important in these kinds of clans. And to eat a grade 2 for just an effect to kind of fix ride is like really awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the grade 1 space in Royal Paladin is just kind of... Marin and Allen, they do the same thing, basically. Who cares?
Right, but like, if this were a grade 1, it would look a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my point.
And
like the fact that the grade 2 hurts a lot.
So, like, take on this is like... I think Exculpate also forces you to play the deck differently, like... With King of Knights Soul Saver, you could kind of afford to put some of your force circles onto your rear guards without having to worry about your Vanguard as much, because both Alfred and Soul Saver gain power, right?
Yeah.
So you could maintain your pressure from the center column while also strengthening up probably what would be a weaker column, because, you know, King of Knights, if it calls Blaster Blade, that's 15k, boosted 23, you have a good column. You know, King of Knights himself is 23, that's another good column, and then your last column is just kind of hanging out there. Even if you use like Akane and Snowgull, unless you soul charge a trigger, you don't really have a good number there. But with Exculpate, because you have to power up your Vanguard for the Blaster Blade ride, you're going to have to kind of take away that early pressure to keep it on the Vanguard to make Exculpate stronger later. Or so.
Right. You need a Force Circle and Vanguard to make that threatening.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Yeah, fair.
it kind of forces you to change the way you're playing on top of changing up the deck building on a fundamental level to fit Exculpate in.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like you can just tech this in and...
Yeah, I mean, if I were going to start this deck, I would start somewhere at like 3 Exculpate, 4 Soul Saver, 2 Alfred Early. And you're pretty much just playing the Alfred Early for the ability for Benon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need to find grade 3, so you don't really have a choice but to play it.
Mm-hmm. And even then, like...
You can't just play 6 grade 3s and just hope to get there. I don't think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, especially now. Maybe in G era you could draw enough to get yourself there.
But even then, like, Alfred Early himself is not a very good card compared to actual Alfred.
I mean, even Alfred himself isn't that great either, so...
Yeah, but it's better than Alfred Early and doesn't take away from...
I believe it was the great BoJack Horseman who said, "True dat."
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to touch on... Did anybody have any other comments about Exculpate?
None on the top of my...
I think the card itself was good.
Yeah.
The grade 4 situation is what's awkward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, those changes it kind of forces you to make to fit him in.
Personally, if I were looking at Kagero, I would just not play Novell at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just not play Royal Paladin, but that's just me.
Yeah. Like...
The other thing I wanted to touch on was they revealed a card for Gear Chronicle that's coming out in, January?
Revealed, you mean talked about?
No, there's like a... Here, let me
there's a leak...
Let me
There's a
get
leak
to it.
going around.
Oh, there's a
Well, hang on. So the reveal is there's a grade 3 for Gear Chronicle called Interdimensional Dragon Knight Lost Legend. Which,
I remember that.
Yeah, so grade 3 Force Gift, 13k, Twin Drive. So act on Van, you choose cards from your hand equal to grade 3 or greater, discard them. Search your deck for up to 1 grade 4. Write it as stand, shuffle. At the end of that turn, retire that unit and write a grade 3 from your soul as rest, which is implied to be him. And then when you ride on top of him, you can counterblast 2 and draw a card. So this has a lot of people a little antsy because both Exculpate and Novell have Force Gifts, which implies that the Gear Chronicle card here will allow you to stride from deck something with a Force Gift, which means you get 3 on that first turn. 3 Force Gifts.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna have the. I think it's gonna have a. So it's, to me, it already seems like it's gonna have a similar issue.
Yeah.
What, of deck space?
Of just grade 3 consistency.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get the feeling that because this seems to be Gear Chronicle's thing, that they're going to have a little more consistency with getting the right grade 3. But at the same time, this seems like very strong because you can just outright search the grade 4 as needed. And then also, so the grade 4's effect was leaked. This is not in any way confirmed. We could be completely wrong about this. We also record a week in advance, so it could be like, yeah, it was revealed and it was complete horseshit. Cool, fine, people from the future, you can tell us that on Twitter. But
Yep.
the effect, from what we can tell, or of what this guy, some random guy on Twitter says, is that the grade 4 will put an opponent's rear guard on the bottom of the deck. It retires itself at the end of the turn. It has a Force Gift. And I feel like there's something I'm missing.
It has triple drive?
Triple drive, that's what it was. So, if that is the case, what do you think this means for...
Triple drive is very good.
Yes, it is.
Unclear if this is actually good. But, again, I don't know the context of the deck, so it's really hard for me to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if the deck has, like, a lot of fixing for bullshit, like, if it has, like, a billion of the same cards, like, reveal, like, grade 4, shuffle it in deck, and it has, like, multiple of these with, like, other effects attached to them, I think it could be really good.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's what could have helped these archetypes a lot, too. It's just adding extra skills to Novell, whoever, and Benon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that could have, like, if you added anything other skill on them, I think it could have been really useful.
What, just like, if you...
So they're not just dead after you ride grade 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like if they did other things in addition to
Yeah, exactly.
searching. Gotcha.
I just think, like, it's just so sad they're just useless after you ride grade 3. I think it's like, more vanillas, yay, you did it.
Mm-hmm. And the Exculpate is even worse because then you end your game on grade 2, so you basically have to win with the restand, otherwise you're giving your opponent a huge amount of free space.
Yeah, and their attacks will likely hit numbers easier. So, but yeah, you either have to kill them or cripple them.
Mm-hmm.
And
but even then, like, there are a lot of very strong vanguards.
Yeah, and especially because you put the 2 cards from hand to soul, you basically surrender your twin drive for much like Draconic Overlord, where you drop 2, restand, get single drive. So it puts more pressure on the opponent, but also the opponent can use this to their advantage by letting it, or at least in the case of Overlord, letting it hit so they can pull another card out of your hand. It makes it easier to retaliate.
Yeah.
This thing, on the other hand, all right, you discard a 3. You get a 4. You can counterblast 2 to draw a card, so you make up for the discard. You have triple drive, so that's one more, that's another plus. And then at the end of the turn, you rewrite him rested, so you get a Force Gift. So
I think we can make Gear Chronicle, like, really strong. Is that they have, like, grade 1s that work on Vanguard, that when you ride them, reveal grade 4s to search for, like, grade 1s or 2s.
Yeah.
Or, like, grade 2s. Like, that can make Gear Chronicle really strong, I think. Like, just be able to fix ride at all levels rather than just
the one thing. I feel like this is that Bushiroad kind of dipping their toe in the pool, too. Because, like, what if this fails? Then again...
Okay.
Then again, I've also seen them, like, plan things very, very far in advance, so...
Dude, Bushiroad is so horribly inconsistent with planning. I don't know what they're thinking.
I mean, so far they seem like they're doing okay, but...
Maybe. How long ago was this Gear Chronicles cards pulled? Jesus fucking Christ.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Sure, I think it was longer than that. It was.
When was it?
It was like almost 3 weeks ago.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Man, time really goes fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hashtag Gear Chronicle. Oh, man. So, that's kind of it on grade 4s. I don't really have anything else to add. It's just, it's definitely something that they've put a lot of stipulations on, so they're not too broken.
Yeah. I get the feeling these are going to be one-offs for a while.
It's possible they haven't even designed all the Gear Chronicle cards yet, and they're just using Novell and Exculpate to kind of feel out how it actually works, so they're going to let people play it and do all the testing for them. And
Probably.
then just cards as they go. That's
and also just maintaining the flavor of the manga.
Right.
The flavor
of
the manga.
I feel like outside of Gear Chronicle, we're probably not going to see a whole lot of grade 4s again.
Fine with me.
Yep.
Yeah, like... these. I hope these will be one-offs like they were last time.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I believe it was my turn for Stump, and I totally forgot, so...
Do I need to pull more random cards out of my ass?
Yeah, sure.
No.
What the fuck do I have, even?
Oh, I have this comment. No one should see why Mario Kart was trending on Twitter. I was maximum regret.
Oh, I was trying to figure out why that was. Why was Mario Kart trending on Twitter?
Not figure it out.
Can you just tell me? Because I'm kind of curious.
All right. So Stormy Daniels
might
have been who had an affair with the President of the United States.
Oh, boy.
In a book, described the President of the United States penis as something like a mushroom person from Mario Kart.
So Toad from...
Okay. That's a thing. Anyways.
Well, I didn't want you to know. I tried to protect you. And you were like, no, tell him.
I have
you could
my
have just
randoms,
said I'm doing it
so...
after the... Okay, whatever, fine.
No, I did it right then, right there.
Yeah. Okay, you know what's the worst thing about it? So one of my friends on Facebook said, "Today is the day a lot of young parents will have that first conversation with their children about Mario Kart," and I had no idea what he was talking about. So this is what I said in response: "Now, son, this is Mario Kart. When I was a kid, I tried to teach my dad how to play, just like I'm teaching you now. I'm going to kick your ass up and down Rainbow Road because this is my house."
How do you not know that this happened?
I was at work. What do you want?
I mean, fair. But like, how do you just comment on stuff and be like, "Why are people talking about Mario Kart all of a sudden?" Didn't cross their mind.
I mean, I thought, well, because there was a Nintendo Direct a little bit ago. I thought there was like a new Mario Kart or something.
Fair.
Yeah.
It's okay. The Switch will make no use of online features, and everyone will be like, "Why do they have stuff online again?" And then everyone will be upset.
And then also the dude, this dude's a little like odd, so I wasn't really going to question why he was talking about Mario Kart for one reason or another.
Also fair.
All right, Rupier, did you find cards?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Just Evil Armor General Giraffa.
Oh shit. Okay. I think grade 3?
Yes.
Part of the right.
Yeah.
Chain. Okay, 10,000 power, grade 3. If you have the Pupa Mutant Giraffa, whatever the grade 2 is, you get plus 1k, and then isn't it when it hits, you counterblast 2 and retire all grade 1 and less rear guards on both sides?
Only on your opponent's side, but you have to counterblast 2 and retire 2 of your rear guards to do it.
God
So
damn,
yes.
that thing's terrible.
Yeah.
It's like a Meg Tony that
All right.
retired. Who knows what reason?
And then Starvader, Chaos Breaker Dragon.
Bro.
You can take that one.
What? Why?
I don't know. It's your turn.
You know what? I have to actually remember the card text of this piece of shit. Grade 3, 11k.
Good job.
Fucking. What's his actual ability? When limit break. Fucking. Which guy was this?
This is the original.
Yeah.
Right, I got that. Man, people stop playing this card so quickly. What the hell did they?
I can finish it if you can't remember.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
all right,
I'm
so
honestly surprised you guys are actually stumped by Chaos Breaker.
I'm not.
Well,
I thought this
all
would be
right,
an easy one for you.
all right, Lord.
Well, nobody. This card was actually not even good when it came out.
That's
so
true.
whatever.
So, Lord ability, you can counterblast 1. I think it's like either discard a Starvader or discard a Link Joker, lock
This card is still good.
the opponent's one of the opponent's cards, and then limit break 4 when the opponent's card is locked during the end phase. You can Soul Blast 1, retire it, and draw. Right?
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Did I
So this
miss
guy just
anything?
got moved by Novell, so it didn't matter.
Okay. Unrivaled Blade Rogue Cyclomatooth.
Oh, baby.
This is
This is grade 3, 11k. This is the Mega Colony Break Ride.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Limit break 4, when your unit rides on top of this, it gets plus 10k. Choose one of your opponent's vanguards that does not stand during the next stand phase.
Now, all of your opponent's units can't
Oh, sorry,
stand.
all of your opponent's units can't stand. That doesn't matter. You know, it's just
Yeah.
the vanguard that matters. But it was the first unit to stun your opponent's vanguard, and so everyone was real hyped. But then they remembered Mega Colony's trash.
Mm-hmm.
That is a
Does
pretty
Mega
good break ride for what it is, though.
Mega Colony hadn't had support since. So this was BT14, right?
BT04 was the last time they had support.
Yeah. So they haven't had support in 10 sets, which is like a little over 3 years,
Oh my
or
god.
2.5, 3 years, somewhere in there. And so it just didn't matter.
That's why Bushiroad was like, we'll do everything once a year. Because,
Right, because Mega Colony hadn't had support in literal forever.
yeah.
But everyone was like, "Oh, it stuns the Vanguard. Is Mega Colony finally going to be busted?"
And then it wasn't. Also,
I mean-
it has a skill that if all your opponent's vanguards and rear guards are at rest, it gets plus 2k.
Cool.
Yeah, nobody cares about that skill. all the break rides had some plus 2k ability. Or
My
worse, they had a soul charge and get plus 1k. That was even worse.
My favorite thing was with the Chat Noir. It was just when it attacks a Vanguard plus 2k. I'm like, that's the easiest qualification ever.
Right. Where you're like, your opponent's at 3 or less, or like 3 or more damage. Like,
Okay. Damn.
it was just so irrelevant. Like when you got the 2k, because it either almost always happened or never happened.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Alright.
There's like
Two
you have
more.
4 more rear guards. Why? Okay.
Yeah. So, Axe Diver.
Okay.
Oh, baby.
Proof is going to kill us.
It's a great
Grade 2.
It has charge for some reason.
Yeah.
I'll just keep going.
Alright, grade 2, 9k, charge, GB1, Counterblast, Soul Blast, when placed on rear. If it's charging, you pick a rear guard, bind it, and recall it?
No. So you when it's placed on rear, you can always do that.
Okay.
But then when if it's charging, when you recall it, you give it 2k.
5k.
Or
And
5K.
you have a Rising Vanguard because this is the Glimmer
Oh, yeah,
clone.
Yeah, Glimmer Clone. Come on. But yeah.
Where did
So
I get yelled at?
it was bad when it came out. It became almost playable for like a hot minute, and then standard happened and it wasn't playable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it can always do the skill. It's just if it's charging, it does the other thing.
Oh.
Is the main point.
Slightly
And
less
then-
worse.
Last one is Blue Wave Martial Dragon, Tetraboil Dragon. I'm going to kill you guys if you don't get it because I use this card all the time.
How do you feel about just intentionally getting this wrong? It'll be great. No. Actually, wait, no, I'm stuck between the Stride and the Grade 3. Which, I know there's a Tetra... Wait, Tetra Boil's the Grade 4,
The
right?
Tetra Boil's the grade 4.
Okay, got that right. Okay.
Anger Boil's the grade 3.
Yes.
Yes.
Tetra Drive was the original
Yes.
Blue Wave. Okay.
Well, that one does.
I remember what that does. Tetra Boil... Okay, so 15k plus Stride, Grade 4. Isn't it like you counterblast 2 turn... Oh, this is gonna fucking kill me. Wait.
I'm sure it's like the stupid thing where it's like on the second attack, you can counterblast 2.
Oh, wait, now I remember. Okay, so on the second attack, counterblast 2, flip a copy of him. If you have 2 or more cards in G zone, he gets Drive -1, and then red text at the end of the 4th battle, drop a card, restand.
Not really. It's Counterblast 1, first of all.
Oh.
Oh,
And then I think you got the rest of it right, so yeah. You get Drive -1.
I knew it was exactly Tetra Drive, except that the cost was different.
Yeah.
Oh. I got it confused with Tetra Drive's cost, because that's counterblast too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's GP2, Counterblast 1, more or less the same thing. Like, it gets Drive -1 for the whole time, so you get Twin Drive both times, and then... yeah, it just gets a red text, like, 4th battle when your rear guard attacks, restand it.
Drop a card, restand it. That was a pretty good Stride. I like that thing.
It was like really wacky when they made Tetra Drive. It's like, why does it do something on the second battle to just do something on the 4th battle? It was like, what?
Because Aqua Force.
Yeah, because Aqua Force, basically.
Yeah.
Send out card. Can't live for that Chaos Breaker. That's pretty embarrassing. Oh well. Nobody plays this card. Chaos is shit.
I mean, to be fair, we were like, it got phased out very, very fast in G era.
So here's what happened. It came out, was good for like 2 weeks, and then the Novell and Blau pack came out, and it was no longer good. You just played Revengers, Novell, or Blau. That was it.
Makes sense. Was that all of them, or you got one more?
That's all of them.
Oh, okay. I wasn't counting. Sorry.
Nerd.
I mean, I can pull out more.
No, stop.
I'm okay. I'm good. Just, it's my fault again. I will make sure to get a pack. I went to a I went to a buy-card tournament, and both me and my friend Vince ended up going 2-2. Vince, me and one other guy got top 8 somehow still. Like, they had to do a die roll for which one of me, Vince, and the third guy, and Vince won. So Vince ended up going all the way and winning 2nd place.
All right.
With Grand Blue, and then with Tachikaze, my first round against OTT, I ended up losing because I got through about 3/4 of my deck and literally did not see a single PG in damage, equip gauge, or otherwise. When I looked at it after, there was 7 cards left. It was 3 draw triggers, a heal, a crit, and whatever the other 2 things were. I was like, okay. And then my other loss was to Kagro in the 3rd round, which was very embarrassing because I did 2 to pass on his waterfall that he did not ride over something else. This was just his first grade 3, and he double crit through it, and then went.
Oh wow!
I was like,
correct.
It was embarrassing, yeah. And then I played him for fun after because we had so much time to kill, and then I beat him. That I don't know what feels worse, losing because of that, or playing them after and winning, but you know it's not going to count, so you're just like, okay, I guess I proved to myself and nobody else.
I played my last Magic tournament with the Scarab God. Went undefeated in Swiss, lost in top 4.
Still pretty good. What's the Scarab God?
It's this Magic the Gathering creature. It's 3 blue-black for a 5/5. It has 3 abilities, all very relevant. The first one is that with the beginning of your upkeep, your opponent loses X life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control.
Okay.
And his other ability makes exiles creatures from graveyards to make them 4/4 zombies that are copies of those creatures.
Is that as many times as you want, or
as long as you can pay the mana? It has a 2 blue-black activation cost.
Oh, okay.
You do as many times as you want as you can pay that mana.
Okay.
He just makes a bunch of 4/4s, and then his other ability is when he dies, at the end, you return him to your hand at the end of the turn.
That's horrifying. That's like
He's absolutely bonkers. But
Yeah.
he's now rotating out of Magic Standard. So I played my last tournament, undefeated in Swiss. My sideboard was built terribly. Got punished.
Oh, well,
I didn't really get punished. I just got. I mean, my opponent was playing a brew, and I was not prepared.
Mm.
Well, at least you got to top 4. Congrats to you.
18 packs, so like $45 store credit.
Sweet.
Nice.
Oh yeah, because you were talking about. I forgot where you put it, but it was like anytime I win a tournament, I always ask if I can trade packs for store credit.
Yeah, it was on Proof Discord. Like opening packs is like not worth it. No one's gonna open sealed product.
Yeah, unless it's like a pack I need shit from, I don't. I just go for the store credit. Pay for my tournaments in the future.
Buy sleeves.
Buy sleeves. Buy future tournament entries. Root Beer, did you do any tournaments this weekend?
No, I haven't played Vanguard a whole lot recently.
We're the best.
Rip.
We're the best Vanguard podcast hosts I've ever seen.
It's just because it's inconvenient trying to get over to the shop.
I get it. Talking about Magic, talking about Mario Kart, just so relevant. All right. Anyway, the usual spiel. Find us on Twitter at Nexus at Night. Find us on Instagram at Nexus at Night. Find me on Twitter at Atlas Novak.
Find me on Twitter at Wiggums 2Gs 2Zs.
Mm-hmm. Find me at Plasma Eclipse.
Yeah. So until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm still Matt.
He's still Root Beer. And have a good night,
Yep.
everybody.